is Jesse Hodier, and I'm a staff attorney for Prairie State Legal Services in the Peoria office. I work on the Legal Help for Homeowners project, and today we're talking about Billy and Evelyn West. Mr. and Mrs. West came to meet with me because they had received a complaint and a summons for a foreclosure.
If it wasn't for Prairie Legal, we would have lost. We were at our wits' end. We went to several attorneys. We didn't have the money. And then we got talking to, I can't remember who it was we was talking to, and they said, well, you know, you need to call Prairie State Legal.
They'd gone to the courthouse when they received the complaint, and the circuit clerk there had given them the Legal Help for Homeowners 800 number to call.
And we called Prairie State Legal, called there, and then it was just a matter of like 2 days. Jesse called and he said, can you bring all your information into the office? And I said, yeah. I said, they're talking about foreclosing on us. And I said, we can't, you know, there's no way we can go back and get things caught up. I said, we were supposed to do it. He said, just bring all your paperwork in. And he said, let me look through it.
Mr. and Mrs. West had faced some medical hardships. Both of them were previously receiving Social Security income based on disabilities. I know that Evelyn had been diagnosed with multiple types of cancer.
And I'd been in an accident and broke my neck while I was out of work. I was devastated. I lost a good job, and I lost our source of income.
Unemployment, medical hardships, and a culmination of a lot of things that got them into foreclosure. And by the time the Wests came to me, they were still within their time to file an answer to respond to the complaint. So within 30 days of the foreclosure beginning, they came in to talk with me.
Then after Jesse went and looked through all the paperwork stuff, he called us. He said, there's some serious problems in this paperwork.
It was fairly obvious that that we had potential claims to prevent foreclosure in this case. So Prairie State became involved. We filed our appearance in the foreclosure. We filed an answer. We raised several defenses and counterclaims in that case.
Jesse's very, very good at what he does. He said, you know, we're going to work this out. He said, don't worry. He said, I don't make guarantees, but he said, I'll promise you. He said, there's no way that they're going to end up taking your home from you.
Our claims and defenses were based out of violations of the Federal Truth in Lending Act, some amendments to the Truth in Lending Act called the Home Ownership Equity Protection Act, or HOPA. That provision of the law prohibits certain loans from having certain terms. There was a balloon payment in less than 5 years. It was a high-cost loan, and that's a clear violation of HOPA.
It's against the law for them to have a balloon payment due on a loan less than 5 years. He said, and they've got this one due in less than 5 years.
After we filed our answer with our defenses and counterclaims, the bank fairly quickly reached out to us and we began negotiating a settlement.
So then they want to negotiate. If we would drop our lawsuit against them, they would be willing to
drop the foreclosure.
Yeah, they would be willing to drop the foreclosure. Then they would do modification on the loan.
Ultimately, the Wests decided that the safest and simplest route would be to go through negotiating and settling. It was less risky ultimately for them to settle, more guaranteed route for them to keep their home. This particular case involved a small town bank. It wasn't one of the national multi-billion-dollar banks. This bank would have been expending a lot of resources on attorney's fees, potentially if we had to litigate this case, you know, for a property in a rural area that may not have ultimately been secured or worth that investment. And so when we refinanced the loan, part of our negotiation was actually pointing out to the bank that this is in your best interest too. By refinancing through this settlement, they avoided the foreclosure costs, the attorney's fees involved. They got rid of the balloon payment, and ultimately their total monthly payments were reduced several $100s.
So we want to say thank you
Yes.
to Prairie Legal.
It meant a lot to us. Because we didn't know what we were going to do.
Yeah, but was it for you? We would have lost everything.
Every time I think about this case, I think of some unique aspects of the legal side and some unique aspects of the clients. I think Billy and Evelyn are some of the nicest people that you could meet, probably. I was really just impacted by them, despite all of their hardships, despite the fact that they were in foreclosure. They always maintained such a jovial and friendly nature, and that really has stuck with me from this case. Also, on the legal side, the HOPA violations are really claims that we don't get to raise all the time. So I think that they were those were exciting claims to try to allege.
If I had money and I could donate it to Prairie Legal, I would do it in a heartbeat.